I'm Evelyn Risley for TechCrunch TV, and we're here at Microsoft's Internet Explorer 9 beta launch with Ryan Gavin, and he's the Senior Director of Internet Explorer. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
So congratulations on your launch, Ryan. Today is a major day for Microsoft, given that it's the overhaul of your web browser. Let's go through the bullet points. Can you give us a kind of tour of the new improvements on IE9?
Yeah, so I think the exciting news today is Internet Explorer 9 beta is releasing in over 33 languages. I think there's a lot of interesting things to talk about the browser, but part of the theme for the event is the beauty of the web, that it's really not about the browser, it's about the experiences and the sites that we all go to. So a huge portion of today's news is the fact that Facebook and Twitter and news sites from across the globe and entertainment sites like Hulu or Rotten Tomatoes are all getting better experiences with a fast browser with hardware accelerated HTML5, a really clean new interface that makes sites shine, and I can show you what some of that looks like.
I noticed that you guys tried to make it more minimal, and like you said, it's bringing the site to the forefront and the browser to the background, right?
Yeah, and we think about it as site-centric. There's kind of 2 points of view when you think about it. What matters? And we talked about this notion of we are the backdrop or the stage. The sites you go to are the play. And so how do you bring that play forward? When I go home and I'm talking to my wife about that amazing show, we're talking about that experience. And we asked, how do we bring that out of the browser box and integrate it with right inside of Windows 7?
What makes this version of IE9 vastly different than the previous versions?
One of the things I'll start with is, how do developers build a new web experience? This is a visualization that was created with KXP by Stimulant that really shows the power of GPU-powered HTML5. Today, when you browse the web, you use only about 10% of the computing power of your PC. And that's because most browsers can't take advantage of the GPU. And we've re-architected IE9 to tap into the power of the PC and the whole PC to really enable experiences that don't feel like web pages. They almost feel like native applications installed on your PC.
Now, will this browser be built always only for the PC? Do you plan to expand to other platforms? What's your thinking along this?
Yeah, we take a very straightforward point of view, which is the #1 experience on Windows, browsing the web. And our job is to make that a fantastic experience. And so that's our focus, and that's what we have here with IE9. So one of the things I mentioned is kind of this integration with Windows. If I go to a new site like RottenTomatoes.com, which is, I'm a big movie guy, I love movie sites. As I pull the site up, one of the things you'll notice, you got the icon here, and I actually want to go to the site frequently. So what I'm going to do is take the site out of the browser box, and I'm just going to drag this tab down right to my taskbar. And I've instantly promoted this site to be like a first-class citizen, right, with all the other applications inside of Windows 7. We've taken it out of the browser box. And you can see up here I've got the Rotten Tomatoes icon, but then we match the browser. The browser addresses to match the site. And it's all about the site. You can pin those applications, but once they're there, the developers can take advantage of the same functionality that's been available for native developers. So jump list is a great example. So here I've got Twitter. This is Twitter, the web page. I no longer have to launch a browser, go to twitter.com, do my tweet, etc. I can just take that activity right off the jump list here. Rough Guides is another example. You can visit the experiences that I care about most. Photo Bucket, come in, just see directly into my albums. And so I'm not thinking about the browser, and that's how it should be.
Was there any concern about making it a little too minimal for people who were getting used to all the buttons and the options that they had baked into the browser?
Yeah, we obviously do a lot of research, and one of the benefits of having over 1 billion Windows customers is we get to listen, learn, and we take a lot of that feedback into the vision for IE9. And part of what we learned is people have no problem finding the functionality for those who really want to go in and customize the browser, etc. But as Dean talked about today, most people use a very minimal experience. They use a few set of things, and what they want is the things that they used to be a little bit closer integrated to the experiences that they're already using on Windows.
But Microsoft has not always been known for its clean UI, so was that something that you guys really had to work with in terms of understanding the way you could kind of minimalize it?
Yeah, I think it reflects back to that site-centric approach. And you ask yourself, when you start with the play, and then you say, understanding how to bring that play forward, it gets pretty easy to say, you know what, when I'm on this WebViz bench or when I'm on Rotten Tomatoes, it should really reflect the brand of Rotten Tomatoes.
So with this version of IE9, it seems like the great emphasis has been placed on graphics, graphics, acceleration, that type of thing. So can you talk about that and how it's different than comparable browsers?
Yeah, I think when you talk about hardware acceleration, and there's a lot of talk obviously about HTML5, but for HTML5 to kind of realize its full potential, and that experience that I was showing you before on the KXP site, For it to really realize its full potential, you really have to take advantage of the GPU. And that's when we talk about fully hardware accelerating HTML5.
Yeah.
And what we've done is we've taken the core video, audio, and graphics components of HTML5 and we've architected IE9, re-architected the browser to take advantage of the PC. And so now the device actually matters when you think about these experiences. And that's an innovative approach that part of the reflection of all the partner excitement that you see here is where the web can go, how partners can start to reimagine the experiences they can build when they have the computing power of Windows and the device with the GPU now unlocked for the web.
How do you think you're different than Chrome specifically?
Well, I think some of the things that Dean showed in the keynote today, if you look at fully hardware accelerating the browser, taking advantage of new experiences that
Though
developers
eventually
can
they
build.
say they're working on that as well, right?
Which, as a Windows product manager, boy, I love that. Making experiences better on Windows, that's a fantastic thing. Then you look at kind of how well we can do that integration with being able to pin down and have jump lists that show up and how beautiful the browser matches the site branding. All those things together create an experience that really pays off on that. We are the theater, the sites are the play. And I think users are really going to appreciate that as more and more consumers start to see IE9.